Hearthwarming Evil by tortfeasor. Chapter 9. Sins of the Father. Twilight Sparkles heaved a sigh. She dearly loved her big brother, but did he have to use that nickname when there were hundreds of ponies around here? Annoying as it was, Twilight considered her foalhood nickname a small price to pay for the knowledge that she was safe in Ponyville. She'd done more than enough desperate fleeing in the past few days to last her the rest of her life. Took you guys long enough! Rainbow Dash leapt in front of the walls to fly towards him. What did you do? Take the scenic route? Not really, Pinkie Pie jumped in front of Dash. That castle was kind of scenic, but we only stopped there because so many ponies were starting to get out silly. The rest of it was just snow and some more snow. And, oh, did I mention we still saw snow? Yeah. Rainbow Dash, like most ponies, clearly didn't know what to make of Pinkie Pie. It's good to see that you made it. Twilight decided to come to Rainbow Dash's rescue. Did you have any trouble? Rainbow Dash sparked. Me? Trouble? As if. Sober had already set a pony of his own, but after I showed your brother your letters, he wound up in the dungeons. Rarity's story in the most unprincess-like fashion. Well, if we needed any more proof that Sombra's launched an organized coup, I say we just got it. Twilight! The pony in question turned just in time to be nearly tackled by her brother. I am so glad to see you. I didn't know what to do with myself when that pony showed up from Platinum City saying you were dead. Mom and Dad would kill me if they knew I let you get hurt. Twilight couldn't hold in a chuckle. It'll take more than an insane unicorn using unimaginably powerful dark magic to do me in. I just hope Mom and Dad don't think they have to come back for whatever it is they took the archaeological dig team. By the way, meet Rarity, Applejack, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy. I don't know, Twilight. That group seems to be missing Rainbow Dash, but otherwise I think this is a pretty nice team. Lyra and Bonbon are bringing up the rear and making sure we don't leave anyone behind. Ah. Shining Armor started as he realized who he'd been ignoring. Your Highness, it's an honor to have you here. I wish it was under better circumstances, but whatever Ponyville could do to help you is yours to use. A warm meal and a bed for all these ponies would be worth more than all the bits in the world. Rarity said, Twilight, why don't you take your brother and the others to the castle while I stay here and make sure all these ponies get into town? I think Lyra and Bonbon have that pretty well covered. Twilight pointed to the end of the line, where two ponies in question were keeping the massive ponies from aimlessly milling about. Besides, don't you want to be there when I tell Shining Armor and Rainbow Dash what I found in Clover's journal? Then we can get you a warm meal and into bed. Shining Armor gave Twilight a suspicious look as he raised the hoof in some sort of signal. Right. Anyways, it's a good thing you sent Rainbow Dash ahead. It gave us some time to start thinking about where we're going to sell these 300 new ponies. They'll be in pretty tight quarters until we can get them out into the farms. But it sounds like the worst we have here is still going to be a big step up for them. Twilight didn't miss the pain look that crossed Rarity's face. Traveling with the Earth ponies and getting among them had done something to Rarity. Rarity was normally eager to give herself to any pony who needed it, but lately her generosity seemed to be morphing into some sort of self-destructive martyrdom complex. It was as if the guilt of 1,000 years and more of mistreating Earth ponies had come crashing down on Rarity all at once. The others, unsurprisingly, didn't know Rarity nearly well enough to pick up on the small cues that caused Twilight such alarm. Twilight forced herself to shove down her urge to give Rarity a good talking to. They were safe for the time being, and after she brought Rainbow Dash and her brother up to speed on her plan, she would have plenty of time to hunt Rarity down and get to the bottom of what was wrong with her. Getting 300 ponies inside Ponyville took not nearly as long as Twilight had feared. As she watched the flow, Twilight let herself indulge in a bit of pride, for her brother had organized such a feat on short notice. She couldn't help noticing, however, just how easily Shining Armor accepted the closeness with which Lyra and Bonbon worked together. It still pushed against an ever-diminishing part of Twilight's brain to see a unicorn treating an Earth pony as an equal. Okay, Shining Armor says the last of the ponies left for their temporary homes. Let's go to the castle and hear this great plan you come up with, little sis. Twilight rolled her eyes as she followed Shining Armor. Sure, he was probably the only pony who would get away with calling her something like that, but did he have to enjoy it so much? Twilight! Twilight turned her most furious glare, only to see it bounce off of Rainbow Dash's mischief-filled smirk. Oh, This was not going to end well. It didn't take long for all to reach the castle at Sarah Ponyville. Apparently, Shining Armor had already told someone to gather together a number of chairs in the meeting room for their use. Alright, so I began once everyone had taken a seat. I think I found a way Clever Cyril to beat Sombra. Before she was assassinated with Princess Platinum, I think they were working on a way to seal the Wendigos once and for all and end winter. Rainbow Dash and Shining Armor were only 2 ponies, so the reaction wasn't so explosive as when Twilight had spoken to a larger group. But it wasn't for lack of trying. So that's great! Shining Armor regained speech first. So when do the fireworks go off? Twilight Sparkle sighed. That's the thing. This is, without a doubt, the most complex spell I've ever seen. Basically, Clever planned to use the innate magic of all 3 tribes working together in harmony to wall the Wendigos off from our world. But for a unicorn to harness Pegasus or Earth Pony magic, let alone do anything with it, it's already a challenge for even the most talented unicorns. Harnessing both at once has already been thought impossible. Even if you could get a willing Earth Pony, then I'll have to cast a spell. So, once I get some food and sleep, I'm going to lock myself in a room with Clover's journal and figure all this out. Well, Shining Armor said, I can give you plenty of time here in Ponyville, but I don't know about the rest of New Unicornia. Sombra's messenger said he's already ordered mass roundups of ponies in Platinum City, as well as putting unicorns who are soft on the traitors under house arrest. I don't know about you, but that sounds to me like every pony in Platinum City who might disagree with Sombra and can do something about it. Once it gets out there, Her Highness is still alive, and I don't see how it won't. I think the only way it ends is either with Sombra or us dead, and that means civil war. Twilight knew Rarity was descending further into her own personal gloom before a single word had left her mouth. We fought nearly a third of our population is savory, for the simple reason that they were born with neither horn nor wings. Sombra and far too many ponies would rather see New Unicornia rent by fire and war than give up those slaves. They either don't know or don't care that the destruction of the Earth ponies in New Unicornia would feed the Wendigos and do us all to start facing ceaseless winter. Maybe it's no more than we deserve. For 1,000 years or more, we've wrung our bread from the sweat and blood of other ponies. Maybe Celestia and Luna really are out there, watching us. Maybe this war will be no more than their judgment upon us, to do for us perpetuating such abhorrent acts. Twilight, I hope that your plan will end this quickly. Yet, if we have to repay the blood wealth of 1,000 years with unrequited toil, and if every drop of Earth Pony blood drawn over those 1,000 years must be repaid by our blood, well, I can only say that either Celestia and Luna are indeed just goddesses, or we've reached nothing more than what we have sown. Rarity's earlier actions had worried Twilight, but had gone unnoticed by others. Rarity's speech seemed to have caught the attention of the others, and it brought Twilight on the verge of panic, wondering what her friend might do next. Rarity. Twilight knew that she was the only one who could start pulling Rarity away from the abyss. She fervently hoped the others would jump in and help. Listen, a lot of ponies have made mistakes going back a long way, but that doesn't have to include you. I know you saw Sombra, so you know he's completely crazy. Whatever he does, and whatever the ponies who follow him do, it isn't your fault. I know I told you this before, but I can't do this without you. When all this is over, we're going to have a lot of things to fix. But if you lose yourself now, then Sombra is the only one who wins. What is there to lose, Twilight? A spoiled, whiny dressmaker playing a princess who couldn't even stop a crazy pony from taking her kingdom away from her? I'll only hold you all back. So let me at least be remembered for doing what I love the most. The ponies who came with us seem to find some hope when I'm out there helping them. If I'm going to be worthless as a princess, then I can at least end up as a pony who tried to help others. Rarity suddenly found herself draped by an excitable Pinkie Pie. It's okay! So what if you made some mistakes? I mean, we all messed up, and we're friends for it not to forgive you. So, I forgive you. I don't know if I go as far as to say friends. Elzak pulled Pinkie Pie off of Rarity's back. But look, I know I've made it pretty clear that I think you've made mistakes of your own. Some pretty big ones at that. The thing is, no one's perfect. And I still think I was right when I said you're the best thing us Earth ponies have seen in a long time. So if you want to burn yourself up in some blaze of glory, fine. But don't sound much like a princess who's wading into that pony's guts to save my own neck. I think that princess would say what's done is done. She'd be thinking about how she could end this winter and stop that varmint Sombra.
But it's all my fault!
Verity blubbered with tears pulling her eyes. No, it ain't! It'll only be your fault when you give up. Applejack, an earth plane from the poorest part of Dirtville, wrapped the unicorn princess in a hug as the floodgates opened. You, know some weird ponies. Starhammer walked over and whispered to Twilight as Verity continued to sob in Applejack's arms. Verity's been under a lot of stress. Her father's dead, I'm not saying where her sister is, now she's staring down a civil war with a genocidal maniac. But yeah, they're weird. And, as strange as it might sound, I wouldn't have it any other way. So, Rainbow Dash was telling me you think Sombra has some crazy plan to become a god or something like that. Starhammer said. Something like that, Twilight replied. You know that life heresy is incredibly powerful, right? Well, I think Sombra's killing all the Earth ponies who go into the penal colonies of his and using that energy to try and change himself into something. When I find him back in Platinum City, he had abilities no normal pony could possibly have. I don't know if he actually makes himself into a god or anything like that, but he thinks he can, and he'll keep killing Earth ponies until we stop him, or until the Wendigo gets us loose and kills us all. Shining Armor looked past Twilight to see Rarity's eyes, tears drying up. Well, before we get some food into you, there's probably one last thing you want to do. Sombra's messenger is a Pegasus called Masquerade, and she's down in the dungeons, and I think you probably have a few questions for her.
I love this place! Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it!
Lyra was bouncing down from place to place like a child on a sugar high. Another impressive feat, considering how tired she had been when they arrived in Ponyville. Bonbon was content to let Lyra do the impulsive tourist thing. Though truth be told, she felt more like joining in.
Come on, Lyra.
Bonbon chided without really meaning it.
Ponyville's not going anywhere. Now that we're here, neither are we. Those nice ponies at the gate said they set up food and beds for all of us. And I, for one, would just kill for either of those right about now.
Oh, all right, Lyra whined.
So excited been hearing her. I've never been out of Platinum City before now. I want to see everything I can.
It was an easy thing to tell the Ponyville locals from the newcomers that arrived at Platinum City. Not only did the ponies from Platinum City gawk like tourists they were, but the local Earth ponies acted entirely different. They almost entirely liked the downtrodden look at their city counterparts, and they had no hesitation to speak or to be spoken to by Pegasi and unicorns. The ponies from Platinum City also looked as starved as they were, so the prospect of a good meal drew them like moths to a flame. And the local ponies providing food had thought anything strange about a unicorn being among the tired ponies lining up for a plate of simple grains. They kept it to themselves. Ponies lining up for food had long since become accustomed to seeing Lyra among them, and long since ceased to comment at her walking among them.
This food is amazing! Lyra said around a mouthful of roasted oats. That's because you're so hungry.
Bonbon restrained enough manners to swallow before speaking.
But yeah, nothing better than not eating for a while to make any food taste good. I wonder what Pinkie Pie and the others who went to the castle are having.
Probably some huge feast. Lyra replied with a certainty of a born sick about such things. Way it always goes. Shack up with the rich and powerful and you get the table scraps.
I don't know, Lyra.
Bonbon was used to Lyra's mercurial nature.
Whatever scheme it was that Twilight Sparkle was cooking up, sounded pretty dangerous. If that's the price of having a huge feast, then I'm glad to say my adventuring days are over. All these ponies are going to have a plenty hard enough time here just settling in.
And they'll all be coming to you wherever they need help. Lyra smiled.
Face it, you're a celebrity to these ponies.
Me? Bonbon couldn't hold her laugh.
You're the one who's going to be put in the history books. I'm just an Earth pony who happen to know a couple important ponies. You, Twilight Sparkle, and Rarity are the ones who are going to remake this country. I mean, just listen to them talk. The Crown Princess of New Unicornia walked with them, suffered with them, and got them through it all. If you weren't so busy poking your nose in everything you saw, you've heard all the ponies we came here with telling everyone how great they think Rarity is. How can you say that, Bonbon? We're the ones who made you and all these other ponies have to flee through a blizzard. Don't get me wrong. I wake up every morning and feel lucky I met you. But ponies like me have spent a very long time doing some very bad things to ponies like you. Ponies like you.
Bonbon poked Lyra with a hoof.
but not you. I should know better than just about anyone else that a horn and wings don't mean a thing. All those ponies when we first met were total jerks. But you've got a horn. And you're the nicest pony I've ever met. So yeah, a lot of unicorns have done a lot of bad things to a lot of Earth ponies. That includes me. But you only ever tried to help me out. So tell me, Lyra Heartstrings, why should I hate you?
Lyra sat in silence for a full minute before heaving a sigh.
Okay, I admit it. You're definitely the smart one. How do you make everything seem so easy? It's not easy, Bonbon grumbled her answer. There's a lot of ponies who would be perfectly willing to hate any Earth pony or unicorn just because of what some other Earth pony or unicorn did. Like I said, Twice Sparkle came up with a very dangerous scheme. And even if they hate each other, there are a lot of ponies who would work together to keep that hate going. And those ponies up in the castle are about to get in their way. Well, Lyra raised her simple pewter mug of water. All the best to them. But here's to our adventuring days being over.
Twilight Sparkle really wanted to eat something and then fling herself onto bed. Every step she took towards the dungeon and away from food and sleep produced a near mutiny from her body. Just as she neared the door down to the dungeon, her stomach finally rebelled with a growl probably heard back in Platinum City. Shining Armor seemed to feel no pity whatsoever for her as he laughed deep and long. And Mom and Dad always used to say that I was the big eater. Don't worry, Twilight. It's just one prisoner down there. We'll see if she knows anything, and then you can eat. Twilight grumbled several things under her breath, and she thought it best that the others not be able to hear too clearly. Just open the door already. Shining Armor's horn lit, and the door squeaked its frame, and it stayed put. More effort opened it a little more, but it wasn't until Shining Armor pulled with his hooves, as well as that the door finally opened. Sorry. He plucked himself up from where he was sprawling on the floor. We don't use the dungeon very often, but I guess I need to remind the gaolers to do some basic maintenance at least.
Why's that? Twilight asked. I know Ponyville's a lot smaller than Platinum City, but you have to have some ponies get thrown in jail every so often.
Not very. Shining Armor said as the crew started down the stairs. To the creatures in the Everfree Forest, Unicorn, Pegasi, and Earth Pony are all mean the same thing. Snack. We have to let the Earth Ponies guard the walls to keep us all safe. Once you've done that, a lot of things that are probably par for the course of Platinum City just won't work here anymore. Sure, the occasional pony will get drunk and do something stupid every now and then, but it's just as likely as it to be a unicorn or Pegasus as an Earth Pony. Sounds like quite a place to be. Applejack had long since lost whatever compunctions she might have had about speaking directly to unicorns. Think I might move me and mine over when all this is done? We'll be glad for the help. Shining Armor seemed to be just as willing to ignore all the pesky legal formalities involved in reclaiming Earth ponies. Cutting back the forest is hard work. All those ponies you brought are going to let us bring a bunch of new land under cultivation. But that's for later. Ladies, meet Masquerade.
If it ain't the Bitch Queen in a whore.
Masquerade leaned idly against the wall of her cell.
Come to laugh at me? Well, enjoy it, because when Summer descends to godhood, the first thing she'll do is make you all die the slow, horrible deaths you deserve.
Randy walked up to the iron bars.
Tell me why I shouldn't send you to meet your god right now. It seems to me like you just committed treason, and I am not in a very forgiving mood right about now. Please do.
Masquerade pushed off the wall to press her face against the bars.
If I had to choose between dying and living in a world where the heirs of Commander Hurricane degenerate themselves by mixing their blood with filthy earth ponies, then I'd rather get off while it's still a world worth living in. You butts of Marimounts can bring about the end of everything good in pony society, but I don't plan on being there to see it.
Ravendash bristled at the insult, possessed enough discipline to stay put when Rarity raised a hoof.
Good for you, Rarity said. What if I told you that your glorious Sampa's plan to exterminate earth ponies will lead to the extinction of all pony kind? Because that's exactly what would happen. The Windigos would get loose from the prison, and your society of Pegasi and unicorns would starve.
Masquerade rolled her eyes.
What part of godhood didn't get to that thick skull of yours? King Sombra will have more than enough power to hold the Wendigos at bay. Then all you ponies who think the Earth ponies have it so tough can find out first hoof by taking their places as slaves to your betters.
I think I know what I'm going to do to you. Rarity smirked unpleasantly. I'm going to sentence you to live. I sentence you to see us succeed and build a better world. To see us prove everything you believe in is wrong. To see that what makes us ponies isn't a horde of wings, but what's inside. Then, and only then, will you get to go meet your god in the lowest pits of Tartarus. And please do tell him just how much of a failure he was when you get there.
You go to Tartarus first.
Masquerade shoved the apparently broken cell door open. The door was just wide enough to wedge itself to the wall, and on the other side the narrow corridor. Blocking the front was Verity and her would-be assassin from the others. Verity, however, turned out to be anything but helpless. Masquerade dove at her, intent on killing her with her barrel hose, only to be struck in the neck with the wooden handle of the axe Verity had carried since she was taking it on her way to Ponyville.
I rather think I won't.
Verity used her axe to trip the gasping Masquerade. Then, in macabre irony, she used the exact same attack that the Pegasus commander had attempted on Applejack. The edge of the axe buried itself almost all the way through Masquerade's chest. You know, as cool as this is, kind of wish it was done with a rapier. Then again, I kind of want Rarity to be wearing a battle skirt.
You!
Masquerade managed to cough around with bloody froth before she found out whether or not she was bound for Tartarus. Hey, T-Rex, is she?
Oh yeah, I've seen her. Hi.
The artist managed at that point to throw the cell door away from and rush to Rarity. I'm going to have a long talk with the ponies in charge of the dungeon. All traces of cheer and humor were absent from Shining Armor's voice. Then I'm going to find some new ponies to be in charge of the dungeon.
Are you okay, Rarity?
Twilight frantically looked her friend up and down for any sign that Masquerade might have harmed her.
I'm quite fine.
Randy swept the blood off her axe along Masquerade's leg before putting it back to the loop she hung it on.
But I fear it'll take forever to get this blood off of my coat. Especially without my normal suite of products to work with.
She's fine. Twilight heaved a sigh of relief that seemed to deflate the others as well.
I think I'm quite done for excitement for today. Let's go get some food and then to bed.
They walked up the stairs. At the top of Shining Armor fixed a helpless guard with a glare who told her to remove Masquerade's body and then find the head Gowler. Twilight was looking forward to the meal with anticipation. Most ponies reserved for the birth of a child. Unfortunately, a pony she suspected to be in charge of the kitchens was standing in front of the back door to the meeting room with a nervous look on her face.
My lord,
she said as he approached.
I'm afraid there's a problem with the meal.
It doesn't matter if it got cold, Shining Armor waved a hoof. We spent longer than we planned in the dungeon, and I don't think any of us will have cared very much.
That's not it.
The chef ran up with worry.
The meal. It was poison. One of the mess's running boys, Featherweight I believe he was called, stuck a bite off your plate. He fell to the ground choking and kicking. Before we could do something, he was foaming in the mouth and then went very still. I think it might have been that Pegasus you sent to the dungeon. Some boys say saw her walking through the kitchen shortly before you had her arrested.
Shining Armor began to curse with a considerable ingenuity.
So, Twilight,
Verity leaned in to whisper,
is that where you learned to be so creative with your language? Oh, no, I learned it from a little pony named Little Pip.
Oh, sorry! That'll be my last follow to question or reference.
Today.
The throne room in Platinum City had undergone quite the renovation, despite only being under management for a few days. Gone were the gleaming white marble tiles, the torches in bright mirrored recesses, and the gilt furniture that gleamed in the bright light. In their places were fires set in low braziers that barely managed to cast sows, crystals jutting up from the floor that could easily impale a single misstep. And of course, King Sombra himself. She approved. Power didn't come from silly things like accommodation, respect, and compromise. Power came from fear, mystery, and destroying anyone who dared so much as to think about challenging that power.
Love what you've done with the place. Much better than those fools who used to run it. So, who needs to die?
Summer never munched in words. His recent transformation only cut his daily speech quota. A single crystal grew from the ground, In the picture was 2 ponies.
Yes.
Even one scentless Sombra, nothing Nora needed to be saying.
With pleasure.
She bowed and left the palace, a terrible smile on her face.